We need just one more for quorum, Christina. Hi, everyone. We'll be starting shortly. And Madam Chair, we have quorum.
Awesome. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon, and welcome to the Human Services Technical Committee meeting. I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. Members should be aware that this meeting is being recorded and live streamed on YouTube as a way for members of the public to participate. Please keep that in mind as you comment. I will ask that you keep your microphones on mute when you're not speaking. And for the purposes of the meeting minutes, please state your name before any comments so that your comments are on the record. Finally, for action items, we will be taking roll call vote. I'll ask for staff to call out committee names and then ask how you vote. Let's move on to introductions. I'll call each member's name and ask you to introduce yourself and your organization, starting with my vice chair, Jacqueline Edwards. Not here today, right? Melanie.
Melanie Dykstra, Town of Gilbert, Volunteer and Community Resources Manager.
Thank you. Naomi. Not here.
I believe we have a proxy for Naomi today. Levon, are you here attending for Naomi? Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. Levon Lamy, Housing Manager, City of Tempe, here for Naomi Farrell today.
Thank you.
Awesome. Welcome. Thank you, Levon. Autumn. Not here. Laura.
Laura Guild with DES.
Susan's not here yet. Mary Lynn, not here. Chris, not here. Jason?
Jason Matthews, Valley Sun United Way.
Thank you. Debbie?
Debbie Pearson, City of Peoria.
Do we have someone here for Leah?
Yes, I believe Karen Bishop is here for Leah. Is that correct?
That is correct. This is Karen Bishop, Community Development and Resources Supervisor. Leah will be joining us in later on this meeting.
Awesome. Thanks, Karen, for being here. And no Cindy, right? Okay. We'll move on to the call to the audience. Brandy, did we receive any comments from the public?
No, we have not, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Okay, then I request a motion to approve the meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, thank you, Melanie. Is there a second?
This is Jason, I second.
Awesome. So Melanie, Laura, do you concur? You support the motion?
Would you like me to take the roll call, Madam Chair?
Sure.
Okay, sorry. Your volume's cutting in and out just
Really?
a little bit. We can hear most of what you're saying. Okay, so I got the first Melanie Dykstra and the second by Jason Matthews. So we'll do a roll call vote. Melanie, how do you vote? Yay or nay?
Yay.
Okay, and Levon?
Yay.
Laura?
Yes, here.
Okay, and Jason?
Yay.
Karen for Leah? Karen, how do you vote?
Can you hear me?
Was that a yay, Karen? Can't hear.
Brandy?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Okay, there you go. Yay.
Okay, thank you, Karen. I appreciate that. And Christina, how do you vote?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. I vote yay, and I don't know if you saw Jacqueline join us.
Okay, great. So I saw Jacqueline joined and also Susan Hallett joined. So we're taking a roll call vote on the meeting minutes. There was a first by Melanie Dykstra and a second by Jason Matthews. Jacqueline, how do you vote?
Yes.
And Susan?
Yes.
Okay, the motion passes. Thank you for joining.
Thanks. Well, so item 4 is an exciting update on the progress we've made around planning a day of recognition and thanks for our second responders. And Brandy, do you want to take the lead in providing an update, or?
Yes, I'm happy to do that. And then those members who have been joining the ad hoc groups, please feel free to jump in and add to my comments as well. But after our last meeting, it was recommended that we plan a day of recognition for second responders. And it was discussed that we move forward with September 1st as the day of recognition. So we had our chair, Christina, and Jason Matthews presented to the Human Services Community Initiative Committee, and there was excitement about that. So we have created an ad hoc group that's meeting every other week. And on that ad hoc group, we have Christina, Melanie, Jason, Cindy Severino, and also Susan Hallett has joined that as well. It's open to anyone that would like to continue with us. Just so everyone knows, the next meeting of that ad hoc group is June 22nd at 11 a.m. And we're working on a variety of things. So I'll show my screen in just a moment and share some of the graphics that our communications division has developed. But kind of the different, so what we're doing is developing a toolkit, and it'll be coming from this committee. The toolkit will be sort of a behind the scenes toolkit that we can share on a zip file or some other shared drive. And that toolkit will be provided to our municipalities, our partner cities and towns, and to any others that want to participate in this day of recognition for second responders. So we came up with a sort of a slogan or a definition, and that is a second responder helps put a life back together. And I'll show you the graphic with that in just a moment. And the idea is that this toolkit will have different buckets. And so far we are recommending that those be social media messages, images and graphics that member agencies can use that we'll be sharing on our website. We'll be encouraging others to share. We'll be reaching out to the governor's office and encouraging the governor's office to participate in this as well. We'll also be developing a draft or a template with a media or press release, and that will be shared in the toolkit. Also a template for a proclamation declaring September 1st as a national or as a day of recognition for second responders. We'll also have some draft digital or handwritten thank you messages, some of those turnkey messages that can be shared, collection of personal stories. So if you have any personal stories of a second responder in your municipality and how they really stepped up to help impact someone's life and get them, back on their feet and get their life back together, we'd love to hear your stories and to be able to share those stories. We also talked about involving the business community. So reaching out to our local business partners and seeing if they would be willing to provide a free donut or free cup of coffee for second responders on September 1st. So, and then, you know, of course, opening it up to cities and towns on however they want to refine and message this day of thanks on September 1st. So the goal is to have a completed toolkit by August 1st. And then that toolkit will go out to our partners, you know, with these different templates and different ways that people can participate. And that will give our partners about a month to prepare for September 1st. And then we'll just, you know, use all of our social media platforms, our websites, and various ways to get this information out to the public. And hopefully there'll be some good news coverage as well. So I am going, well, let me pause there and see if there's any questions on what I've shared so far or anything that members would like to add. Okay, not hearing anything. So I'm going to share my screen. And give me just a second. Okay, so these, can you see my screen? Okay, I see head shaking. All right, so this first graphic here is a graphic that we would have like on our webpage, could also appear on Facebook or on Twitter, different social media platforms. So it says, send a second responder a message of thanks. And then cities and towns, of course, would be open to placing their own logo on this as well and sharing it. And then we have some other graphics. So a graphic of a volunteer. I'm just going to run through these. So preparing meal boxes. And then we have someone delivering a bag of food. So those are some of the images that we have. These are in draft form now, so want to pause and get your feedback on what your thoughts are around these images and this messaging.
Anybody
What
have
do you
any
think?
comments? I have a question for you all.
This is Jacqueline. I think they look really nice.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Any other comments or feedback?
Randy, one of the things I just thought of is like, even when we do, you know, send a note of thanks, we've all talked about too, is not everyone knows maybe what a second responder is. So we'll be encouraging communities to identify, you know, maybe it's your mental health providers, your nonprofit organizations. We'll try to give some examples as to who we think that is, because if the definition directly, a lot of times it's been utilized for those that are kind of responding to national disasters, more so like earthquakes and things like that. And that's not our intent in this one, but we like the use of it because we wanted to be broad as to second responder, but we will give examples as to maybe who we're thinking we're talking about, which again, for us is our social service providers who have really, you know, stepped up, but there's obviously many others as well, but just to give the group an idea is kind of why we chose that.
Yeah, thank you for that point. And if there are photos that any of you have that you know, actual photos of people, and of course you have their permission to share it, that we can use and incorporate in within these images, we would love to, you know, use real photos. These are stock photos, so, you know, use real photos of people out in the community helping. And if you have stories that you would like to share, that's something else that we'd really be looking for some assistance with, is in collecting those stories and how second responders in your cities and towns have really stepped up to the plate over this pandemic to help put a life back together.
I think real photos would be awesome. I was curious what everyone's thoughts were about the use of the images with the word volunteer on the shirt.
Oh, let me go back to, let me find that one.
There's
This-
two
this-
actually. There's
Okay, so there's
two or
this one.
three.
Yeah, and we didn't talk about volunteers, I don't think, in our initial discussion about the definition of a second responder. So when the staff person in our communications division was looking for those stock photos, you know, I think some of the feedback was, you know, it's hard to find a picture and know that this person is a social worker. You know, how do you reflect that in an image? So he was able to find, so there's this photo of a volunteer. I think this is similar. This might be the same photo actually.
Yeah, it looks like it is, but
The
it's
same photo. So
And then-
there's those two, and then this photo. This one.
it just seems heavily weighted on volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not talking about, I mean, volunteers are helpful also, but I think we're talking about paid professionals too.
Okay.
Yeah, and Madam Chair, yeah, this is Jason. I concur. I think that, you know, again, we all love volunteers. They're amazing, and
they have their own day.
they have exactly. So I think that just for, if this is the only thing that people see, we wanted to really have like a staff, like kind of like a staff kind of like relationshipy action, if that makes any sense. Yeah, I think that anything that says volunteer on it, unfortunately, might confuse the audience.
Okay, that's really good feedback. Thank you. That's exactly the type of feedback that we're looking for. So thank you for that. I was also
like this one, I think is really good. I think it shows that there's a caregiver.
Mm-hmm. So there's that one. So packing meal or food boxes.
And the
That's
mask
another
at
one.
the door. That was,
And then this.
Yep.
So you like those? Okay,
Sure.
I'm seeing thumbs up. Okay, so then maybe replacing some with the volunteer t-shirt with another image. And again, if you have photos that you would like to share, please, you can email those to me. And then we'll take another look in our stock photo. We bank and see what else we have.
Like Brandy, I just Googled like case manager images, and there are some that are like, a little more specific, where it literally looks like, a person behind a desk is helping another person. So,
okay.
I do think there probably are some images like that might be, if you, just try to Google like a term, I think you might be able to find some that look a little more. And again, when I first looked volunteer, I was like, I was kind of split on it, but I definitely wouldn't want it to be the highlight at all. Granted, they came alongside and helped, but again, I think I agree with everyone else, is that really the goal was to, really the staff that stayed on the front line is really what we're looking for. But I think if you just Google some of those, I think you'll be able to find some that look a little more representative of that, almost like the words, Google that, and there's a picture that'll pop up.
Okay, great. Thank you. And I think we may have some photos of some outreach workers as well. So we'll see if we can include those, if we have permission to use those.
Yeah, that would be good, like something from a tabling event.
Mm-hmm.
And this might be where having those actual photos comes in extra handy. The people might be surprised to recognize themselves in the photos versus a model.
Right. Yeah, that's a great point. And if there's staff from your cities and towns that you want to recognize, and would like to write a small, like a short story about them that we can share, I think having those personal stories would be very impactful as well. I know whenever we get contacted by the media and they want to cover a story, they're always looking for that personal story, that personal impact to share in the media. Great. Any other feedback about the images or about the items that I mentioned that we're thinking to include in the toolkit?
My thought is if anyone on the meeting has any connections to a sponsor, that would be great if you could share. Like someone that you know or a business that you think might, be willing to provide, like she said, a drink or a donut or something. If anyone has any connections to any of that, that would be fantastic. Or even if your own, if it's something that, it'd be nice if we had something that was, obviously statewide, but if not, we may have to determine if anyone can do something with their local groups, a business or someone who may want to support, someone locally.
Yeah, that's a great point, Melanie. Thank you.
I do have one other comment about, and I can see that the person who was putting these together was trying to be thoughtful about diversity, but I would certainly say that we should make sure that we're using some stock photos, some Latino focus, especially because the community that we live in. So if someone decides to send a specific message out, then make sure it looks like people that are in our community as well.
Thank you for that comment, Jacqueline. That is really important. Any other thoughts or feedback? And again, if you'd like to participate in our bi-weekly meetings, you're more than welcome to join us. June 22nd, 11 a.m. is our next one. We're meeting through Teams for those sessions. And you may have homework if you join, though, just saying.
How would someone get the link from you?
Send me an email if you would like to attend, and then I'll forward that Teams invite to you. Great, thank you. I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
Thank you, Brandy, for having that ready.
Thank you.
I'm going to hijack the meeting for a second here. Speaking of Brandy and our next meeting, I think you all have seen, she won't be here anymore, at least in an official capacity. And so I thought it might be nice and we would all appreciate an opportunity to recognize her. And so I wanted to give you all an opportunity to share any words of gratitude or memories or whatever for Brandy. So is there somebody who'd like to start? Please feel free to. Debbie?
I think Brandy is really, really mean. Tried to make me get on the board the whole time. It's been wonderful working with you, Brandy, and I wish you such good success and, all your happinesses that you're hoping for. And thank you for leading this team. Sometimes we're like herding cats, getting that quorum. And so I really appreciate you.
Oh, thank you so much, Debbie. I appreciate that. And there's always an opportunity for you to serve in a leadership position. Thank you.
Susan?
Oh gosh, Brandy. I really feel like we actually started working with each other when we were like 12, 13. I'm pretty sure. It's been a long time, and we worked with each other clear back in my DES days. And I think what I've always just appreciated, aside from just your calm, competent, demeanor, is you're incredibly knowledgeable. It's one of those things that I've always been admired about you. There's so many different aspects of this work and so many different interconnections. And, I feel like when we've got the diversity of this group, we're in such great hands with you because you have the ability to connect all of the dots. I think to Debbie's point, herding cats, I feel like we're a bunch of squirrels sometimes too. We're going, we're seeing different things and all that kind of stuff. So, and you've been that way for as long as I've known you. It just, almost kind of wise beyond your years. So I just I just wanted to tell you how much I have appreciated getting to know you over the years. You know, you are absolutely an incredibly, you know, bright spot when it comes to MAG. They've been so very lucky to have you for all this time, and whatever is on the horizon for you, I know that the family is going to be part of it. I know that you're a fantastic mother, wife, family person. So I wish you all the best. And thank you for, as Debbie said, living us in such good hands.
Thank you so much for that, Susan. I'm very surprised and just honored to hear these kind words from each of you. It has been a pleasure being at MAG for almost 20 years. You're right, Susan, we really have grown up together. In fact, I was pregnant with my daughter when I started, and she just graduated high school and is going off to college. And it has just been a pleasure. I have worked on so many different projects, starting with the continuum of care, focusing on addressing homelessness in the region, and now, you know, working with this committee, the DV Council, and general human services issues, and in getting my, you know, dipping my toes in the water in terms of human services transportation work. And I really have had so many opportunities, and I really do enjoy working with this group. You may feel like maybe I think it's herding cats, but I love working with each of you. You are all bright spots for me in my work at MAG, and thank you. And I know that you're going to continue to do amazing things through this group. And one of my goals before I leave is to have this toolkit done for our day for second responders. So I will ensure that that happens before I leave.
Okay, Jason, then Leah, then Jacqueline.
I think Leah did have her hand up first, so I don't want to steal Leah's thunder because she always has something brilliant to say.
Thank you, Jason. You can go ahead, but thank you very much. I'll go next.
Okay, so I can't really I echo everything that's been said, and Brandy, you know, I was just reflecting when I got your email, I was both happy and I kind of was just like, you know, but I just got on the technical committee, but it's fine. I'm very I honestly, I think that we've been in human services in the Valley for the same time. And so I think that we both kind of started in our careers about the same time. And it's amazing just to see your growth and to see your professionalism and your calmness and really just the empathy and the compassion that I think that I've just seen so much, and not just through this work and not just you know, in past works, but just in every situation I've ever seen. I think that you've always, you really modeled what it is to be a public servant and to do it with incredible dignity and empathy. So I just so very honored to have the chance to have worked with you in this space, and I'm very excited for you for your next chapter and your amazing journey.
Thank you so much for that, Jason. I really appreciate all of your kind comments. Thank you.
Leah?
Oh, there, you even get my camera on today.
Oh.
You never know what's going on behind me. That's why it's off usually. Well, I too am going to miss you. And I really echo what everyone has said. I really enjoyed working with you in your different capacities. I think I've known you long enough to see you in a couple different roles and worked with you in that. I, especially during the time that I was chair, really appreciated being able to work with you and kind of brainstorm. And we had some good conversations about things that we felt were challenging, but you always stay positive no matter what. You've always had such a positive outlook on everything. And I agree with everyone with the calm demeanor, definitely a calm demeanor. Really going to miss you. I wish you so much luck in the future and a time with your family. That's incredible. I think we all probably need to take more time with our families. I think if COVID taught us anything, it's like it is time to look at what's important in our lives. And so I wish you the best with that. Enjoy that time. Really, really going to miss you. And thank you so much for all that you've done for us and for the community. And you really have a lot to look back on of a great career serving through MAG, the community, and all that you've done. And I know you're going to continue to do amazing things.
Thank you so much for that, Leah.
You're welcome.
Well, I don't know that I can add any more than what everyone else has said, so I'll say ditto to everything. But Brandy, thank you so very much for everything that you've done. You've always been such a delight to work with, and can tell the passion that you have for the work that you do, and the commitment has always been there. So thank you for all of your contributions, and you will certainly be missed, but you can, you are leaving a legacy behind. So thank you for.
Thank you, Jacqueline. I really appreciate that.
Laura and then Melanie.
Yes, Madam Chair, thank you. Well, the good news is my work with Brandy is not done. We've still got more work to do over the next month and a half. So I can pretend like this is not really happening yet. And I'm good at that. I'm good at pretending things are not happening. And I'm probably one of the few people that have been around pre-Brandy days. So when you first came into the organization, you exemplified what you still are, and that's everything everybody said: class, professionalism, calmness, ability to just control a meeting without controlling it at all, appearing to control it at all. And you've just worked with such a wide diversity of individuals in all kinds of professions over the year, in my experience of you, and you've got great talent. I just hope it is appreciated in your next adventure. So that's it.
Thank you so much, Laura. And I vow to complete my work with you too before July 30th. You all I just really appreciate your kind words, and I like to put the spotlight on all of you. And so thank you for this. You're making me a bit emotional, but thank you so much.
Melanie?
I'll just keep mine short and sweet. I've kind of shared with Brandy. I've always appreciated how organized she's been, and I feel like she just keeps us on track. And honestly, when I first started on this committee, I'm like, I did not know what it did. So honestly, so I believe it's really been nice because she's really looked to the chairs, but helped bring us along, I think, where we feel like we're making more of an impact and a difference in this area than I think when I first started on it. So I appreciate that. And just knowing that, you've always been so responsive. If we have a question or a concern, or we wanted something looked into, you always got that information back to us. So really appreciative of that. And someone actually reached out to me today about your job description, like, maybe it'd be interesting. I'm like, heck no, no way am I coming in behind her. I have zero, of the, like Susan said, just your depth and breadth of knowledge and information. I have very much appreciated and recognize that is so not something I would be able to do, because you've had a very complex job, but appreciate, all that you've done for this committee.
Thank you, Melanie. And to your point, MAG has posted a job posting for the Human Services Director position. So, we're looking for a great person to come and join the MAG team and to lead this group among other groups at MAG and the Human Services Division as a whole. So, we've got a lot of great things happening right now, whether it's the regional response to homelessness, the work coming out of this group, a lot of exciting things happening in the area of domestic violence, as well as Laura mentioned, with the grant that we received from Department of Justice. So there's a lot of exciting things on the horizon. If you know anyone that you think would be great, please feel free to forward that job posting. And I'll be working very closely with Amy St. Peter and the Human Services team to ensure that there is a smooth transition once I leave July 30th. So, so no worries there. There will absolutely be a smooth transition. And I just wish all of you the best of luck and just continue the great work that you're doing.
Did I miss anybody who wanted to say something? Well, Brandy, I also want to reiterate what everyone said. Your steadiness has been such an asset to the group, and the way you're able to take something from last year's meeting and remember it 12 months later and make it materialize. And it's like, that was a great idea that we had. She remembered. is just a real testament to your professionalism. So I've enjoyed working with you also, and I have always admired you and the impact that you've had on homelessness and domestic violence. And I've learned a lot from you. So thank you for everything. And I'm sorry to catch you off guard with the hijacking the meeting, but I wanted to make sure people didn't have to hop off before they got a chance to say something publicly to you. And now you can have this recording to look back at when you get bored.
Thank you. I'll play it for my family later. my kids are not always appreciative. So,
That's right.
thank you
There you
so
go.
much. And thank you, Christina. You've been a fantastic chair and leader of this group. So thank you as well.
So agenda item number 5 is going to be to discuss the positive changes in regional human service delivery. We had left off at attention on community health. For the sake of time, I just wanted to open it up broadly to see if, with the pandemic getting closer to the rearview mirror, but not entirely, what are your thoughts and experiences and hopes in terms of how the focus on public health continues to manifest in our region?
Madam Chair, I can start, get the ball rolling with some thoughts, if that's okay.
Great.
So at the Valley Sun United Way, I think as I've mentioned beforehand, we have fully embraced the intersection with public health as part of human services with our new 5-year plan. And it's really, it's nothing new, quite frankly. I think that, as long as I've been in, this field and working, in the Valley, since 2002 or 2004, kind of in that space, there's always been this talk about helping the whole person, and not necessarily if a person is just coming in to your building and they're rarely just needing that one thing. Would our jobs be easier if there was just one thing that they needed versus maybe a whole host of things during that exact same time. Those connections with healthcare and leaning upon the expertise and leveraging the resources that public health has just been invaluable. And that was before the COVID-19 pandemic. And then the pandemic just exacerbated that to the nth degree. And I don't think it'll ever go back, in my biased opinion. So I know others will have a lot more articulate things to say, but I think that, from our perspective, and I would hope that for this committee and beyond, there is always that opportunity for us to talk about the intersection of health as it comes towards human services. It's, whether it's the thing, then in some cases is the financial trauma that forces them to go into something else, whether it's a big medical bill or something like that, or whether it's needing housing in order to maintain one's health care, and that's it. There's just so many other ways, that examples that we can go from there. So I'm excited about this conversation, and I hope that this is a cornerstone for our work now and moving forward.
This is Jack. I have, is it okay if I go next, Christine?
Yeah, I was just saying your name.
Super. So some of this is more just informational, because being in the county, we have our lanes, right? So we do have the public health department for the county is should be there for all of us, right? All the jurisdictions, and if you're not aware, and I can send this over to Brandy and Tina so they can send it out, but public health is currently doing an update on their community impact So it's a survey, and they're going to be using the information that they gain from this to build some new initiatives. And they have a lot of things in the works, and they're splitting up the county in different regions and focusing on each of those regions, you know, like what the needs of those specific regions are, because maybe you know, what is needed in the Southwest Valley isn't the same as what's needed in Central Phoenix. And they have gained they have a significant amount of funds to invest in the next couple of years on these initiatives that they've gotten directly from the Fed. So make sure that, you know, for you guys to send this out and send it out to your networks and community and whatnot. I know that they're really looking for a lot of information. And I can say in my I have weekly, bi-weekly meetings with some of the folks at Public Health, and really wanting to make sure as they're focused on these regions on, saying, the intersection between health and human services. So those they feel just as strongly about that as the rest of us do, and I think that's going to be really great for you know, expanded partnerships. You know, human services is represented by so many different, you know, organizations, both public and nonprofit, so that, you know, us making sure that we're having our voice heard in you know, their initiatives will impact, you know, all. I believe will impact everyone all the better.
Any other thoughts or comments on public health and positive change? I definitely think it's shed a lot of light on the social determinants for people who were already familiar with them, and I think it broadens the it opens the door for us to do more work in those areas and have it legitimized. So, okay, well, with nothing else on that topic, I want to move around to the lightning round. And this is an opportunity for you to report out on any local or national best practices that you've come across, collaboration opportunities, or any other information you'd like to share. I'm going to check around the room. I'll start with Jacqueline.
Thanks, Christina. So, folks, on our meeting here, no, counties really focused on emergency rental and utility assistance. So some of our counterparts are, and really taking a look at how we're going to be investing our ARPA funds in and gearing up for some of those items. So next time we meet, I'll be able to share a whole bunch of different things and say details should finally be finalized. But lots of stuff in the works in different areas, whether it's food or domestic violence or affordable housing, of course, is an initiative already. So that's what we're up to over here.
Thank you. Melanie?
Can't find your mouse, it's hard to unmute. So yeah, I think right now I'm kind of trying to refocus some of our interest and efforts on the heat relief program, recognizing that we just really haven't had the same type of refuge. And, you know, this week really highlights that if we do need something, we're a little bit short on that effort probably. So we do have something coming online, hopefully early July, but appreciative of the capstone event that was held with the kind of our homeless efforts, where the Arizona Faith Network mentioned that they might have the opportunities. So I've actually scheduled a meeting to talk to them to see how we may be able to, for the community of Gilbert, try to expand maybe some opportunities and efforts in that area. So that's kind of my collaboration type of partnership opportunity that I'm reaching out for The rest of it is, again, we're still just working through all the federal funding sources that have been received, getting contracts out for, our CDBG, CD3, and, just trying to put everything in place to keep working through some things that we have. And that's mainly a focus. We also I just put an RFP out for a specific unsheltered assessment for Gilbert, so that we can kind of drill down very specifically into what our concerns, issues, get ahead of some things, figure out what our at-risk population really is more in need of in Gilbert for resources, so we can start directing some things more specifically to address, the issues specific to Gilbert. Since we have a pretty hidden population here, we don't see a lot, but we're working with some of our different departments. Our fire department is now, when they go on calls for service, they actually identify those who identifies as homeless. I now get a data map, and I get, and we've also are finding we have repeat customers per se, but that will help us with our next pick count to know where we can more target. But then also when we bring on a case navigator, we can maybe specifically see if we can be in touch with some of those folks. So that's kind of our focus right now.
Laura, do you have any updates to share?
No, I don't.
Susan?
My goodness, there's a lot going on. So some of the most immediate areas, just trying to manage all of the rental and utility assistance that the city is receiving, staying in close partnership. We're very fortunate to being a strong provider partnership with Maricopa County, Gilbert, Mesa, Chandler. And I do want to brag just for a moment, because last week, in 1 week, the city of Phoenix expended over $1.8 million in ERA funds, serving nearly 230 families. So that was a high for us. It'd be great if we did that every single week, but that's a lot of services. That's a lot of money to get out the door in just 1 week's time. So pretty proud of that. Keeping our head above water with that kind of work. I'm also excited that the city put together a really, I think, responsible and community-driven plan for their American Rescue Plan funds, the ARPA funds. If you're interested in learning more about that, you can pull up the City Council report that was prepared for the policy session, which was last Tuesday. But there's something for everybody in there. We've got services for seniors, we've got services for refugee and immigrant populations, we've got services for young parents, childcare needs, just a lot of really cool, creative things that I think are ultimately going to meet the needs of our communities, which have probably the impacts that everybody's experiencing from COVID are probably well beyond what any of us could have imagined or could have, anticipated. So, anytime you see government, stepping out and being a little bit more creative and a little bit more customized, I think that's a sign of a good thing. It feels like it's a large ship and it's hard to turn, but, I think that we are rearranging the deck chairs, and I think that it's going to make, at least for our Phoenix residents, it's going to make them stronger. So I'm really excited to have the opportunity to dabble in a lot of those things. I know that as a city, we're continuing to move our homeless strategies agenda forward, our affordable housing strategies agenda forward. So we've got a lot of irons in the fire. I'm sure, along with all of you, you're just anxious to see where the rubber meets the road, right? When do you get past the planning stage and get starting to moving the needle and really starting to see impacts with, for the people directly in need? So, it's a busy time. It's a good time, and so I'm just appreciative to still be contributing to it.
Thank you. Good work. Jason.
Well, we're not doing anything here at the United Way, so I don't know what y'all are coming. So I just been on vacation for like the last like 3 months. So, you know, I'm just joking. I wish I was on vacation for a lot longer. So all joking aside, there's been a lot of amazing work here happening, including but not limited to just really proud that the United Way was able to complete its fiscal year 22 grant process for housing and homelessness, our health, and our education work. That's about $7 million of funds that's going out. And many of you may know it's in the news today, but we actually received a gift from Mackenzie Scott for $25 million at the beginning of the year. She just announced another round of giving today. We didn't get any more money. We're good. So, but it's just we're able to use some of those dollars to help kind of bolster, you know, our community, especially just to help with new impact areas. As like I mentioned, health is a new area, but we'll also have a workforce development priority and a grant process that's going to go out in the fall as well. So we're really excited about that. So that's just a more impact that we're able to do, as well as just, you know, the incredible gifts of so many individuals and corporations that have been able to contribute to the United Way. So we're so grateful for that support. We're very excited. We are in the home stretch in completing, as Jacqueline well knows, the human services, the needs assessment for the Community Services Commission and the Human Services Department. Very exciting, and we're so grateful for that partnership, as a lot of that data helped inform our strategic plan and vice versa. But to see some amazing opportunities, and it also underscores the conversation we just had there. And again, well, happy to share that that report once it is adopted and it's public. But that intersection with health is really important, and so it's just there's a lot that's there that I think we're already talking about, and we have been talking about for a while. And then finally, I just wanted to tip the hat to all the organizations and all the staff hours that went into the work around the regional collaborative on homelessness and that regional plan. It was a lot. It's been really exciting to be a part of that for some time now. Time has no meaning anymore, so I have no idea when that started. But just to see how much it's grown and how much it is really leveraged on the relationships, not just between individuals, but really between organizations. And really, it's that collective power between those organizations that's really helping to move the bar and really just helping, how can we all go in the same direction when it comes to these things? It's not dictating needs. It's just how can we just make sure we're all going in the same direction for these kind of services, which I think is going to be instrumental. And it's something that, for some of us, again, just thinking about Brandy, it's something that some of us for a couple decades have been asking for in the county. So it's really great to be able to see that and really excited about the work going forward. So that is enough out of me. So I'll turn it over to the chair.
Thank you. Susan, you thought of something to add?
No, I just wanted to ask Jason a follow-up question. Jason, did I hear you say that Valley of the Sun United Way is doing the CNA Community Needs Assessment for Maricopa County? Yeah, we just we're just finishing it actually, and
okay. So yeah, it's all done. The final draft was literally just turned over today. Okay. But yeah, we're very fortunate to have that partnership with the county.
And is that something that you have done before? Is this a new assignment essentially for Valley of the Sun United Way? I'm fishing because we are required to do a community needs assessment, and we did just recently sign a new contract. But I'm always looking for bigger and better, and Valley of the Sun United Way certainly comes to mind when I think about that. So just curious.
Well, let's talk offline. Literally, there's probably, you can see the bags under my eyes like right now. So I'll be honest, like it's really, really fresh, but it's also yeah, let's just talk offline, because I think that there is definitely I think that we brought a lot to the table for that. And there's some challenges of doing something in a pandemic that we certainly have learned in this kind of space. And I think we were able to adapt to that. But I think that even that conversation, I think, will be helpful, whether it's us or anyone else, that will just help, because we were course correcting as we went, just because, like I said, it's convening and surveys are hard during a pandemic, and so, as you can possibly imagine. But let's talk offline, and I'm happy to bore you with details as much as I can share.
Appreciate that. Good news is that our current contract is good for 3 years, so you get a little bit of a breather. But trust me, I'll be thinking about these opportunities for the next 3 years. Thank you.
No problem. And then definitely you want to have a conversation with Jacqueline to see if we actually did a good job on it. So I mean, that's really they're the boss on that. So I want to make sure that.
I'll look for that testimonial, Jacqueline.
Absolutely. So, but yeah, let's talk offline.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to the outputs from that, Jacqueline. Maybe we can have it on the next, as soon as you're ready to share it, if we can be sure to have that on our committee agenda. Would love a full report out.
Sure, of course. Yep, I saw the draft, so I'm so glad to hear that it's almost said. And I actually have a staff member sent that draft and some of our other needs assessments in early education area start, but it also takes a look at the family needs, and in our for our HUD program as well, kind of doing a summary, super high level summary of here's all like the findings, rather than people having to read through like every single report. So once that's all set, I'll be happy to share that with the group as well.
Jacqueline, that is a wonderful idea, and I would love to see that. And I think that there's so many great assessments being done across this county through many different departments. I know I had the opportunity of reading not just past assessments, including the City of Phoenix and Mesa and Glendale, but also that health department assessment, which was very, very good. And so there's a lot of wonderful models out there.
Thank you. Debbie.
Sorry about that. It goes wonky. I don't really have any updates. We're just, doing the heat relief. Got some, internal restructuring going on with the department. And so we're just kind of working our way through that and getting things figured out on who's doing what over here.
Yeah, you're nearing the end too. You and Brandy will be able to have wine at lunch together.
Yeah, any day of the week, right? So 7 weeks this Thursday.
Yeah, congratulations on your retirement a little early.
Thank you.
Leah. Leah, you're muted if you're speaking. Leah or Karen, do you have updates?
Oh, there we go. Sorry.
That's okay.
3 screens and I couldn't find the mouse. Telling you. Oh my gosh. Okay, so just like everyone here, everyone there, we're trying to deal with all the different funding sources, and we're trying to hire a lot of temporary staff to help us out. We've got new navigators that will be starting hopefully shortly after the first of the year, and some other positions. We're bringing on housing locators, housing stability specialists, family self-sufficiency specialists. I think what else? It seems like a whole host of individuals. We've actually just recently added 15 cubicles to the work area, and we're already out of space. So it's a little crazy. So yeah, it's just like I said, like with everyone else, we're trying to balance all the different funds. I also feel like my time has I just don't have as much time anymore. So I will be sending an official letter asking Karen Bishop to officially take my role on HSTC. So I will send you an official note as Madam Chair, but thank you for all that you've done. I've enjoyed serving with you and with everyone there. And I know Karen will do an awesome job and she'll keep me updated. And I'm excited for her to take this on. For those of you who don't know Karen Bishop, she used to be on HSTC years ago when she was with United Way. So talk about full circle. There you go, Jason. Full circle. So I'm happy that Karen can take on that role for me. It seems like we've got a lot going on that doesn't have to do with community development and federal funding that my department is involved with these days. So just it's a little bit of craziness right now, but it's all good, right? It's all helping the community.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Leah. I'm going to miss you. I've learned so much from you, and you have built an impressive human services division in Chandler. I think the funniest story I like to tell is how many times I had to go back to you and ask you how much general fund do your council invest? Because no one believed me when I came back with the answer. So good job. You do great work and it's impactful and people recognize it. So you're a role model for us.
Thank you so much for that. I really enjoyed, like you, Christina, you and I have spent a lot of time brainstorming and coming up with things. So it's been great to problem solve with you and everyone there. And I will still be on some of the meetings that we have with the county once a week on all of the ERA funding and that kind of thing. So Jacqueline, I'll still see you once a week, and Susan, because there's a lot going on with that. But yeah, no, I just appreciate everybody's time, and it's exciting times for all of us, right? Great things are happening. So thank you for that.
Welcome back, Karen.
Madam Chair, I do apologize. I do have a 3 o'clock meeting that I'm being nudged towards, and there's no chat feature, so I'm
I know. I'm right behind you.
So okay. I'm so sorry. So
thank you.
Everyone. Bye.
And Levon, am I pronouncing your name right? I didn't mean to miss you. Did you have anything to add from Tempe?
It is Levon, and yeah, Naomi had asked me to give a little bit of an update on one of the workforce projects that we're working on. We are working towards, I was actually reviewing the site plans and architect's drawings today for the Tempe version of a HUD Envision Center that we are working our way through getting up and running this year. We will be looking at moving the bulk, if not all, of our workforce development and self-sufficiency programming, whether it's from the Housing Authority or workforce development or some of the education programming into this facility, so that we may not entirely follow 100% of what HUD says, but we're absolutely following the pillars and tenets of what should be involved in this building and then making it our own. We've also been working with our sustainability office, so it is turning into a resiliency hub and emergency, they have a name for it that I'm completely forgetting, but in the event of an emergency, it could stand up as the emergency control center for the city. It would also, we've got some things going in where, the building we're rehabbing has a full commercial kitchen. So we are working towards having that rehab so it could go towards some type of workforce development, job skills training, recareering deal. And by the way, it makes food and kind of helps offset the expenses. And then working through it as a little bit of heat relief hydration station over the summer, because the size of the building and the layout allows us to continue having programming in part of the building while we section off the other part of the building strictly for heat relief and hydration stations. So, on top of the solitaire and bonbons of all the emergency vouchers and CARES Act and ARP money that we're pushing through, we decided to add this to the mix while we were at it. And
no big deal.
One more thing.
Sounds really impressive. I hope you'll have us all out for a tour. Okay, well, I know everybody's got a lot to do and I'm getting called to a meeting too. We're trying to figure out how to spend our art money in Goodyear. It's more money than our city's ever seen. So thank you to everyone who's been a sounding board and shared ideas already. One thing did come up in one of the meetings recently that I'm sure you all have insight on, and I'd welcome an email of suggestions for the sake of time if you have any. But in terms of emergency financial assistance, it's been brought to my attention that one of the challenges relates to the requirement to see a decreased income, but people who are on a fixed income may have seen increased expenses, but no decrease in income. So I'm really anxious to hear how you all are being able to be responsive to those individuals, because I suspect we have quite a few of those here in Goodyear. And as we're trying to plan our funding, I'd like to be innovative in that.
Christina, I can share more about that with you.
That'd be awesome. And any other gaps, Jacqueline, that the county's seeing in terms of who they can't serve but wish they could serve? Maybe we have some, maybe we can find some way to be more flexible for just that that group of people.
Super. Thanks, Christina.
Thanks. Okay, you guys are all awesome. I really appreciate you. I learned so much from you. Are there any requests for future agenda items besides the county's presentation and a tour of Tempe's coal facility?
And Madam Chair, I have a note for our next meeting. We'll have a leadership transition as well. A new vice chair and chair to announce.
Awesome. All right, well then we'll have a full agenda with that. Any comments from the committee or a motion to adjourn?
And we don't even need a motion to adjourn
that's right.
anymore, Madam Chair. So you can just adjourn when you're ready.
Awesome. I'll see you guys at the next meeting. Thanks for everything.
Bye all.
Thank you all. Bye.